Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies, inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us. That's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Remember the stories that kept you awake at night?
Been living in that closet, Dr. Fenner.
Can you still hear the screams?
I love having the children for dinner.
All from your television set.
In the night gallery. A Darkside.
Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast. Join hosts Father Malone, Mike White, and Chris Stachiw as they exhume some of the most infamous horror television of all time. Midnight Viewing. From Weirding Way Media.
Until next time. Weirding Way Media.
Welcome back to Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, where this season we're taking a look at George Romero's 1980s series, Tales from the Darkside. I'm your host, Father Malone, and sharing the Midnight View with me are the projection booth's Mike White.
Salty tears.
And the KultureCast, Chris Stachiw.
I have something to tell both of you. This is not, in fact, a real madness room. It's just the one I made while you were out of town.
Oh, man, you're always doing that. Before we get going tonight, I just want to take a moment to say hello to our listeners across the oceans. That's Atlantic and Pacific. Did you fellas know that 30% of our audience are in the UK, Ireland, and Australia?
Them folks have good taste from what I've heard.
So I just wanted to welcome them and thank them all for listening. Drop us a note, particularly if you're in County Sligo, Ireland, where you'll most likely have dealt with some of my kin. I apologize. Tonight, we're taking a look at two episodes from Season 1. They are The Tear Collector and The Madness Room. The Tear Collector is Season 1, Episode 16, which originally aired on February the 24th, 1985. This one was written by John Drimmer and Jeffrey Loftus, based on a short story by Donald Olson, and it was directed by John Drimmer. This one stars a cavalcade of anthology veterans. By cavalcade, I mean three people. Jessica Harper, who was also in Tales from the Crypt, Victor Garber, who was also in Twilight Zone 1985, A Day in Beaumont, and Eric Bogosian, who was also in Twilight Zone 85. He was a healer. And this is the Jack Sprat tale of a woman who can't stop crying and a man who lives to collect tears. And what's behind that French filigree door? What'd you think of this one, Chris?
I was so disappointed to learn that this was not about a guy tearing pieces of paper out of a book at a library.
The tear collector.
The tear collector. You know what? This was fine. It was perfectly fine. It was very, I wouldn't say, I mean, what's funny is on the last couple episodes we've done, it was like, man, this show's really mean. All of a sudden, the show got really nice. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, there's nothing that needs to be learned here. This is all a lark and it's all for fun. And you're going to meet the taxi cab driver of your dreams. And she does. I think it's fine. I mean, it's Jessica Harper, which for me is the draw. That was why I was ultimately kind of taken in by it. And then you've mentioned some of the other people that are just kind of here. I thought it was fine. It's not trying to do anything particularly interesting or exciting, but it's a nice little Tales from the Darkside story.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I don't know why, but with this group of episodes, I was really noticing the commercial breaks and really noticing the act structure and just, I was just like, okay, yeah, I still don't exactly get Victor Garber's motivation. And you mentioned Eric Bogosian. What the fuck? He just shows up for like one scene and harasses her and that's it? I mean, did I fall asleep? Does he come back?
No.
Okay.
He doesn't even tell her that he's her captor and that he's there.
Oversight.
Big oversight, really.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was okay, but I really wanted there to be more to this.
You know, there's an old genre novelist term for the type of story being told here. Fucking bananas. I thought this episode was crazy, gentlemen. This is a woman who can't stop crying and some immortal being who lives to collect tears. What he does with these tears, I'm still not sure. I know that in his brownstone apartment somewhere in Queens, he's got a Chamber of Ancient Sorrows room. That's what's behind that French filigree door. That's not my term for it. It's his, where it's a circular room with jars from every possible age and continent. What I love is Jessica Harper's character is, she'd be called a spinster back in the Night Gallery days, but she can't get a date because she can't stop crying because she's just sad all the time. She happens to run into this immortal being who loves to collect tears, and he does so, and eventually shows her the jars of the other tears he's collected. So he shows her a jar that contains the tears of an Aztec who watched the conquistadors burn his civilization to the ground, and a mother whose Confederate son never returned from battle, and now a mousy girl from fucking the Bronx? Like, what? Where's the correlation there? Also, I was wondering what this episode is actually about, right? Because is it just a thing about the boomers figuring out that they all need therapy?
I was under the impression, I just read it super on its face, that Victor Garber is just an insane person. And he's just like, I got this room of tears and give me your tears. Like, wouldn't that be funnier if it's just like a legit insane person just has all these vials in a room and is like, I have tears of an Aztec. I mean, look, he can't prove any of it. So a story is just a great story. That's all I'm saying. Wouldn't it be weird if this guy was just like, hey, I got this room full of tears. Want to see it? I'd be like, If this person invited me over to their house, I'd be like, sure, show me your room of tears. Why not? But the fact that Jessica Harper, for some reason, has the tears that in his mind are equivalent or on the same level as, I mean, he could have said, I had the tears of a woman who had to make a decision which child to send to Auschwitz. Like, that's kind of what I was expecting. And instead it's like, Jessica Harper. Okay. So I just read it as this guy's a lonely weirdo who's just a weirdo. And I don't know if there is any pretense to what he's doing. He could just be a weirdo.
I noticed there's Jessica Harper has a roommate character, and this just reminded me that roommates on television and movies just exist to drop exposition and have their dresses hemmed by the protagonist.
Or talk to them when they're getting ready to warn them, just remember to tell me where you're going and what time you're going to be back. Okay.
And I love that anytime a woman shows up with money that was unexpectedly on them, she's a prostitute. Roommate goes immediately to, what are you doing for this money? Don't you know each other? You've met her, right? She
You know,
doesn't
this
seem
person you live with. Yeah.
doesn't seem like she's hoeing out there.
And the thing is, I was so curious, why is she so sad? I kept waiting for there to be a reason why she was just so darn sad and crying all the time.
Speaking of that, now I fully believe Jessica Harper when she's emoting how sad she is. The problem in the episode is it's called the tear collector, and there are no natural tears on display here. They're not even using glycerin. It just seems to be water that they've sort of splashed on her face, like right before the camera rolls, or sometimes while the camera is rolling, when they're doing the first close-up of him collecting her tears in a jar, you can clearly see they're dropping it in from out of frame. In this case, I'm going to blame Jeffrey Wolf, friend of Midnight Viewing and editor of this episode. My God, man, just you needed to cut a little bit later so we didn't see the dropper. Yeah, that was a big problem.
Well, look, at the end of the day, if John Rothman steps out of a taxi and says to you, hey, what are you doing out here? I look into his eyes for a second and I let him woo me, right?
Well, she's in the perfect position to be wooed by a cab driver who has decided to park in the middle of the fucking street and just abandon his cab and walk home with her. Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when he got fired from the library in New York City.
I don't know who we're talking.
Ghostbusters. This is literally the guy from Ghostbusters.
Oh, it's
literally the guy. What's that got to do with it? The fucking the library guy.
I thought you were talking about
funny.
Jessica Harper, and I'm like, was she in library?
No, she wasn't. I just wish, you know what? Here's the thing. The reality of this episode is the three of us love Jessica Harper and they give her nothing to do in this episode. That's the shame. If there's a shame here, it's that this is the episode with Jessica Harper in it. And she's not really given a whole lot to do other than look sad. Hey, just look sad. Okay. That's all you're doing. That's the one note we need you to hit for 22 minutes.
There's something inherently creepy about collecting tears anyway. And, you know, they kept, I like your idea, Chris, that this is just some fucking psychopath who is collecting women's tears and pretending he's an immortal, right? Because he would actually be doing her a service. If she cries all the time, but is forcing herself to stop crying, and this guy's like, no, just do it. Just cry it all out. Like, eventually, she's going to stop crying if she's being encouraged to do it. So he is performing a service here, but he's definitely immortal because she comes into the chamber and he's got one of the tear bottles open and he's listening to it and he's crying as well. And like when she breaks one of them, like there's a howling wind. So this is definitely an actual supernatural story, but
of all the things to collect, tears.
And it trades in the kind of veiled conversation. Victor Garber never answers her questions. He's always just like, let's just say I provide a service. No, what do you do? What?
Are you the devil, sir? That's always how the devil talks. The devil's like, well, I give people a second chance. To what, sell your soul? What are you? Stop speaking in fucking coded language, my friend. But these kinds of shows, Tales from the Crypt did it. Twilight Zone did it. This show has done it. Night Gallery has done it. We always run into these kinds of episodes where someone is just double speaking to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, you know, I guess she's so enamored and, like, just appreciates having someone to talk to that she doesn't care what he's doing or what this is all about. It's weird. This is the scenario we're given here, sort of the opposite of a sexual relationship where one person develops feelings for the other. It's an all-emotional relationship where one person develops feelings for the other. In that way, I thought it was kind of clever. But I, too, would like to know why our lead character is so sad. You can't just say, I've just always been sad. That's not a thing. This character was broken, and how did that happen?
Well,
it is about the boomers.
Yeah, there is clinical depression.
There is clinical depression, to be fair.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that.
Father Malone says, nobody, just smile more, okay? And you'll be better.
But you know what? If she was actually clinically depressed, then I don't think the solution to that is
let me doing something else about it.
Yeah, let me collect your tears. I did like that the jar that was collecting the tears was swan shaped.
Oh,
Nice.
there's only one person who can sing for her.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, though. You know how they really could have turned it up here? They could have had him doing something with the tears other than just listening to them. If he's a tear collector, you're telling me as an immortal, he's never been like, what do they taste? How has he never been dropping it into his mouth?
That's what I expected.
Yep, none of that. It's so they have an interesting concept and they stop at that. There's nothing else. Like, guy who collects tears. And then nothing. And
then nothing
then?
because they're making it this story about falling in love with somebody who is just there to help you and doesn't have those feelings, and you shouldn't do that. That's, I mean, on its basic sort of level, that's what it's about. But
going to therapy. Yeah, she's just paying him in his currency of choice. I wish I could pay my therapist in tears. I'd be a lot better off. Oh, there you go. How many tears is it cheaper?
Yeah.
All right. I
here's a
think you hit the
question.
nail on the head.
Is this the spark that led to Eric Bogosian's one-man shows? Was it this character that led him to sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or stumbling around on stage like a homeless man? That's one of his characters eventually.
That's true. Yeah.
It was his time on this show.
I don't know if I told you this before, but that film of his one-man show, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, I'm actually in the audience when they were filming.
Oh, wow.
I sat next to Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. It was very unusual.
Wow. Guy has a big mouth.
Yes, he does.
Oh, it's very enormous. Actually, quite frightening. Other notes I have here. This is the first time one of the New York episodes seemed a bit set-bound, just in the Jessica Harper's apartment. But I'm not blaming Robert Draper here, who's fucking excellent DP. I'm placing the blame on John Drimmer. Didn't see a scene he didn't want to overlight. If he had just taken one or two lights away, then I wouldn't be even nitpicking right now about it. Because the rest of the stuff is all on location, alleyways and brownstones. Looks great. And I'm sure his house is a set, but did not feel like it. Even the chamber cryptic nonsense.
Drimmer has not worked on much things other than literally like documentary style stuff.
Well, a lot of medical stuff, right?
Yeah, this and Battle for the Erogenous Zone were the only two directing titles that he has. And then he has producer on a bunch of stuff. So
I'm going to have to check out that one.
And wrote 1984's Iceman.
I don't know that one.
Starring Timothy Hutton as a...
Oh, okay. The one with John Lone, where he's searching for a heart of gold. Yeah, it's John Lone as a caveman who gets unfrozen. He's unfrozen caveman John Lone. And at one point, they're in front of a big raging campfire, and Timothy Hutton starts to sing Neil Young's Heart of Gold, and John Lone starts to sing it with him. So music is calming the savage beast.
It just came to me. I've seen that movie as well. Oh my God. I remember the poster for it. It's so crazy.
Written by John Drimmer, everybody. So
There
that's
you
a
go.
movie and it's produced by Norm Jewison. So there you go.
That's pretty good.
I'd watch it. Caveman cinema, it does not have enough representation, I don't think.
No.
Except for the old Phil Hartman, as you mentioned, Mike. Unfrozen
Yes.
man liar.
I don't understand your modern law system. Yeah. So
I am
good.
just a simple caveman lawyer. Yeah, that is the best one, really. Time to go mad.
Yes, indeed. Our next episode is The Madness Room. This is season 1, episode 17, aired originally on May the 5th, 1985. This one was written by Thomas Epperson and directed by John Hayes. Stars Stuart Whitman, Teresa Perret, who was a regular stand-in on Tales from the Darkside. She was a stand-in for 17 episodes. Also stars Nick Benedict. And this is a Night Gallery episode that somehow managed to slip through all those years unaired. It even has Stuart Whitman. It's actually the tale of a wealthy, ailing man and his younger trophy wife in their evening playing Hardy Boys Meet Reverend Werewolf. Okay, not a werewolf, but a ghost, maybe. What do you think of this one, Mike?
It's interesting. I mean, talk about the machinations that they have to go through in order to make this plan that they have work. I mean, spoilers are okay, right? Just that they're setting up this whole thing and doing everything with the Ouija board. And, oh, yeah, when we bought this house, there was this extra room and I had it, ordered over so that we could discover it. I'm just like, the lengths you went to do this, it's great. Wouldn't it just be simpler to poison your husband rather than scare him into a heart attack?
Wouldn't it be easier to just shoot him in the fucking head, hide the body, and throw away the gun?
Wouldn't it be easier to smother him with a pillow, which is what they eventually land on?
No, it's much easier to build a room in your house, then build another room around that room so that you can find the room And then, it turns out there is a ghost in the house, everybody. So what the actual fuck anyways? This is one of the most pedantic episodes I've ever seen. We're just like, what are we doing here, folks? What are we doing?
And the quickest wrap up, just like,
what? But in fact, I did not shoot you. It was all a joke. But there is a ghost, though. Wait, what?
Yeah.
We're going 8 different directions in 15 seconds, and none of them seem to be anything tangibly coherent. It felt like they just landed on the last one, and we're like, okay, sure, it was a ghost all along. Like, why spend all this time doing anything else if there was just a ghost?
Well, they needed a supernatural twist at the end to justify all the Scooby-Doo bullshit that came beforehand.
Yeah, I think the supernatural twist at the end undoes every single amount of Scooby-Doo bullshit. Because the ghost, the ghost is chilling that whole time, just like, I'm going to let them do all this, and then when they get to the point where I can do something, then I'll step in.
That's what happened. It's actually a very helpful ghost. That's the part of the episode that I liked. The rest of this fucking elaborate plan to build a room and then set deck it and, hanging up all of these, dolls by the neck from the ceiling and crashing it like some lunatic had been in there forever. Like, what the fuck are you? He's got a bad heart. He's going to kick off at any moment. That's what I never understand about any of these triangle episodes where an old man has to be murdered so they can get his money. It's like they're always so frail. Just let him die. Or do that pillow. Push him down the stairs. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. So strange. Yeah, it was a lot. And then I was talking about the whole commercial break thing. That scene where they're trying to get into the room and then she pulls out a gun, cut to commercial, cut back to commercial. Why do you have a gun? I just thought it'd be safer. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, like a total Alfred Hitchcock Presents or just actually Dukes of Hazzard. Dun, dun. You don't think they're going to do that to old Jesse?
Right. Looks like those boys are in a heap of trouble.
Let's see what happens on the other side of this commercial break. God. And the other thing, ultimately, the idea that they hand the guy a lantern and he tosses it and lights the room on fire. On top of it, what are you guys doing? Don't just kill him if you're going to kill him. Don't just let him sit there and continue to talk. It's like the dumbest James Bond villain nonsense, too. And here they are espousing their evil plan. But he's still alive. What are we doing? Guys, you could have killed him 5 times over by now. Nope. We're so stupid we need to die.
I can go up to my room and get a ghost.
Yeah.
She literally has the gun on her.
Yeah.
I
was hoping the fish lady would show up and save Stuart Whitman.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's last time we saw him.
Or
right?
No, I thought the last time was with that trunk in the attic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, another friendly ghost.
Yeah.
Just don't move that trunk and you'll be okay.
Yeah, don't talk to that fish lady and you'll be fine.
Nick Benedict, who plays Stuart Whitman's business associate, looks like David Naughton from An American Werewolf in London if he was on steroids.
Yes.
Swollen Naughton.
If he had rabies.
Was that a model, I wondered, as this episode began? Was that a model house that they just showed us? What kind of looked like a model? And then they cut back to it. Yeah, yep, that's a model. What are they doing here? Why do they have a model? So it can burn at the end, except the effect probably looked terrible because all we get is some smoke pouring out of this model, just confirming it's a model anyway.
Pouring out of one side, just one little tiny area too. Yeah. Boy.
It was sad.
Is this episode supposed to be scary? Is this supposed to be like a shock? No, it's just, I don't know, it's 2 idiots getting their just desserts.
It's supposed to be a mystery thing, yeah, where they, eventually the supernatural intrudes, but this, it's funny, they use a Ouija board here, and this represents the limitations of all Ouija boards in cinema. So you have to wait forever as they scratch out the fucking letters for...
Oh, God.
It said the madness room. Really? It must have taken 10 minutes for it to... I'm glad they cut away. The madness room sounds like my first wife's room.
Take my wife, please. Take my wife.
Also, as they start their little quasi-seance, she lets us know that the spirit guide is the person who was once in this house. Is that a thing? I don't think that's an actual rule.
Yeah.
Your spirit guide is your spirit guide. It has nothing to do with the former owner of your domicile.
One that they knew his name, and then they're like, oh yeah, like they call out to him towards the end. They show the photo of him. I'm like, they knew this guy? How did they know this guy?
And what's funny about, okay, like, just on the basic scenario, it's a dark and stormy night. An impromptu business situation shows up where his partner or whomever has to show up. And his wife's immediate reaction is, let me break out the Ouija board. And then when this new guest says, I'm not really comfortable with this, Stuart Whitman insists that he fucking get his fucking hands on that plastic planchette and start fucking... He deserves to die too. They're all of them.
Yeah, no, all very distasteful people. People I didn't really want to hang out with for half an hour, whether they had guns or not.
Oh,
I mean, to your point, though, about the other Stuart Whitman episode, this is very similar to that Night Gallery episode. It feels kind of part and parcel with the kinds of things that we were seeing in Night Gallery. I mean, you're very apt, Father Malone, with the Night Gallery. This one eked its way out because, boy, I was waiting for Rod to talk about the painting along with this one.
Oh, it would have been a painting of that who was it, Joe or Bob or whoever it was, their spirit guy. Ben. It would have been a picture of Ben.
He'd look no more.
Yeah.
It would have been a giant key. What? Scoff at me and damned you'll be. Lock the door behind us for drop key and crack. The only way back. Okay. The ghost wrote the last line, but these idiots who had all this time to come up with an entire room. Also, what I love is, at a certain point, Stuart Whitman is looking at the blueprints and he says, oh, hey, it's that hallway. You know that hallway we have that has no windows and no doors and just leads to nowhere? Apparently there's a room down there.
Don't you live in a house that has a secret room you don't know about?
Also,
there's just a hallway with no windows or doors or anything that just goes nowhere, and you never thought to yourself, is there a haunted room in this house?
Where did she get the pistol? Did she have it the whole time? And no one was concerned about it. Yeah.
You have a gun, just shoot him.
Yeah.
Just shoot him in the head and take his body and put it in the room and then board it back up.
Exactly. I mean, I guess that was their plan, but just put him in the room and fucking board it up. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Exactly.
like the Cask of Amontillado, but the Tales from the Darkside version. Nope. Just got to be, I don't know. It felt like, okay, we get to this point at the end where it's, oh, but you didn't, but I didn't. It's, oh, that's the twist. I do that moment in these kinds of things where it's like, did you? No, did you? Oh, it was a supernatural thing. Like, I do love that moment of realization. It's just, here it's, I don't know, not the worst version of it, but just like, for real, like, we got all the way to this point for that. Like, come on.
It's also the pilot of Night Gallery with Roddy McDowall being the couple. I mean,
right. Fair. Yeah.
I
That's
can see
that's also very fair. Yeah. This feels very part and parcel with the kinds of stories we've seen just in general in anthology shows. There's always one or two these kinds of stories
and
where there's like a twist at the last possible moment.
As with all of the Tales from Darkside, I haven't really disliked any episode. I've always found something interesting in all of them. It's just that this one, take it back to the fucking Night Gallery, guys. It don't belong here. I'll take 2 tier collectors to this one old dark house, stormy dark night bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, again, I don't know if you saw this when it originally aired, if you'd be like, oh, this was really something. But in terms of watching so many of these kinds of things and now having this kind of collective knowledge of the deck that they often play with, this is a well-worn and often used card. And I haven't seen it used well enough for them to keep going back to it as they often do. It's very much just like, okay, do a haunted house story, but don't make it like this, because these are all kind of a piece at this point, is what it feels like. Even the Tales from the Crypt ones.
If you're going to do a haunted house story like this, where you're playing with the possibility of perception, then you got to have Leslie Nielsen with an eye patch, or I'm not buying.
Yeah. Something, anything. Stuart Whitman just being an old man that they can't kill because he's an old man is just, that's anthology logic right there. We have to be as contrived as possible to kill him, because the gun with bullets is not good enough.
And the setup is good. The payoff is good. It's too elaborate.
Yeah.
So elaborate. I just couldn't believe it. When it just kept going on, I was like, really? Like when they first woke up, or like, oh yeah, he's dead. And then he wakes up and I was like, wait, what? I don't cooperate. Oh boy, why would you even say that, buddy? But yeah, it just kept going on and being layered and layered. I was like, how long have you been working on this plan?
They've been working on it so long that, again, they could have just shot him at all the time they've spent thinking. They didn't just go, what if we have a gun and we just shoot him? No, that doesn't happen in The Darkside.
No, and had it just been the wife, then it might have been okay, but this is a duo.
Yeah.
At some point, one half of the duo is going to say, is there an easier way?
Also, why would you lock...
Why would you lock the door behind you?
Why would you both go in? Why would you both go in? Why wouldn't... There's two of you for a reason. One would stand outside the door and be like, okay, I'm going to let you out now. Oh, she goes to go for the door and it's locked, and then and he opens it, and then he's got a gun and he shoots him. Okay, better twist. Nope, it's just, we're all in the room together. What? Okay, sure. You want to put yourself that close to danger? Be my guest.
Is there a pool on the property? Because I doubt he's a very good swimmer. I mean...
Yeah, let's push him in. Let's knock him over the head and push him in. They can't even tell.
Just
they couldn't
a
tell.
little bit of arsenic in his coffee every single morning.
Yeah, slip him like a Valium or something and just push him into the pool.
Yeah. So many easier ways to murder someone.
No, this is the kind of thing you do to someone that you hate. But I don't get the sense that she hates her husband that much. But like the lengths she goes to is like, you really have a personal problem with this person if you're going to those lengths to get revenge on them.
And that could have been more interesting had they presented Stuart Whitman as a ripe old prick.
Right. Exactly.
Then we could side with them and then him and then the ghost overall. The ghost just doesn't want anyone there. That would be all right. Yeah. Oh my God, we're fan fictioning.
The ghost let him die on top of everything else. The ghost only interjected himself after Stuart Whitman was dead too. The ghost is just ambivalent, completely ambivalent, doesn't care at all. Just, okay.
It would have been nice to know anyone's point of view, even the ghost.
Yeah, really.
All right, on the next episode of Midnight Viewing, we'll be taking a look at 2 episodes from Season 1. Those are If the Shoe Fits and Levitation. Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, is a proud member of Weirding Way Media Group, and our theme song was composed by HP. Until next time, what are you working on? Where can people find it, Mike White?
As always, I'm over at the Projection Booth, which is part of the Weirding Way Media Network, or you can go to projectionboothpodcast.com, where I'm talking about movies every single week and have been doing that for over 13 years and plan on doing it for at least another 2 weeks. So by the time this airs, hopefully the podcast will still be there. How about you, Chris Stachiw?
Yeah.com is where you can find everything that I work on, including the KultureCast, which I have been doing for 10 years. And yeah, I'm not even going to go 2 weeks out in the future. I'll do one week. And that's it. 1 week. We'll see you next Tuesday, folks. You can find everything that I work on there, aside from one thing, which you can find over at my Patreon or at Mike's Patreon, which is patreon.com/KultureCast, or patreon.com/Projection Booth, which is Rankin' on Bond, where the two of us and Richard Haddam take a look at Bond once a month. That's something you're into. $10 a month or more gets you access to that.
As for me, you can check me out on Midnight Viewing. This used to be a monthly show, and then it was a bi-monthly show, and now it's a weekly show. So you can hear us on here doing Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, or our sister series, Midnight Viewing Anthology's Attack, with my co-host Antonio Lepore. Thank you all for joining us here at Midnight Viewing. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight. Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Our theme song was composed by HP with an assist from Donald Rubenstein and Erica Lindsay. If you want to hear these episodes early and commercial-free, become a patron over at patreon.com/Father Malone. Not only are the episodes up early, but we have extended interviews and bonus podcasts where we spotlight the best episodes of horror anthologies from every series. But if you just like the show and want to help, please share it with your friends and give us a rating on your favorite podcatcher. Together we'll keep journeying through the places that are just as real, but not as bright. brightly lit.